All right, so give you an update on the Subaru. Made it. It made it to the 900 something mile trip that I took it on. Took it. Did the before I left. I took the did the almost 500 mile. I did a 50 mile oil change and then almost a 500 mile oil change, and then took it on a road trip. A leap of faith per se. There was still some oil leaking all, from the timing cover. I just didn't have time to clean it all up. So when I get home, I will probably be tearing it apart to clean it all up. I'm not really sure. Still really hard to tell if it's actually leaking oil or not, or if it's just remnants. I did go ahead and have take it to the Subaru dealership here and have them change the oil. They, of course, were doom and gloom, like there's oil everywhere, all this and that, and it's like, yeah, I know. But anyway, so they changed the oil. It's been several days. I've been driving the hell out of the car because I'm not really doing a whole lot here. I'm just hanging out with the place I'm working at, and plus on the weekend I had a lot of time to go sightseeing, did a mountain drive and whatnot. Anyway, so haven't noticed any oil. I haven't noticed the oil being any lower. I've been checking it every morning before I go driving. So I may not actually be leaking oil. It may have just been all the excess splattering around. One update I do have though, as of I had when I got in, on the way here, I noticed that when I was engaging the clutch, the pitch stop, I figured it was the pitch stop, was coming loose because I was getting an excessive amount of movement in the engine transmission. So Subarus are more prevalent here than back home. So there's a performance shop that I took it to. Gotta give them a shout out. It's called All-Wheel Drive Performance here in Albuquerque. Anyway, they did. I gave him $20. He basically, came and just popped the top mount off, tightened the pitch stop up, and put it back together. While I was there, though, there was a guy that had just gone rotated and was looking to get rid of some of his parts, and so I couldn't resist the offer. This probably wouldn't have been my choice, but he sold me his Cobb Downpipe for about $200, which that's like a third of the cost. Actually, they're way more expensive now, so couldn't pass on that deal. Probably not the preferred downpipe that I would have gone with. I would have preferred a divorced bell housing, but this is a bell mouth, whatever. It's not really that big a deal. The other reason I would have probably gone with a different one is because of the neck down here. But since I still have a stock cat back, that actually worked in my favor for now. And if I ever get a different cat back, I can just have an exhaust shop, change that out for a full 3-inch flange. But anyway, that will be going on probably here in the next couple days. There's the local Air Force base here has a hobby shop, which most Air Force bases do, where you can go work on your cars and whatnot. And they have tools. You just rent the bay, and just they leave you alone. So I may be trying to put that on here in the next few days. So that might be a video in preparation for that. I went ahead and went to AutoZone, got some DEI Titanium wrap and some of the zip ties that they have. So I'm going to be putting that wrap on, and I'm going to do a video real quick on that. I'm going to get set up and try to do this in here in the room. Anyway, once I get set up, I'll be back. Okay, so some of the things to note, because of the extra amount here, and this is kind of obviously indented for a reason, because the flange bolt needs to go through here. I'm not going to start up here. Plus, with the wideband bung, well, I don't want to have to go around that, so I'm actually going to start just behind the wideband bung. And then I'm probably only going to go to about here, so I should have plenty of excess. I'll end up having to cut off, but we'll get started. What I'm going to do is fold it over kind of at a 45, like that. Yes, I know this has got excess, but that's going to get covered up here in just a minute. So I'm actually going to start on the bottom, or close to the bottom, and then just begin wrapping. And it starts to tighten on itself eventually, to where you don't have to worry about it so much trying to cover. You basically get about, at least, this is 2-inch tape, so trying to get about 1.5 inches or so at least. Let's see. It's kind of annoying at first, especially when you have lots of excess. Plus, this pipe isn't perfectly round starting out, but it's manageable. And it's just a little bit. This is something I should have done on the Cobra headers way back in the day. And if I ever need to pull the cross member, I will do it for sure. But on this car, the main reason I'm doing this is because I'm still running the factory top mount, and heat soaks a thing, so it's kind of important to do what you can to get rid of it. Now, and eventually I'm going to be going E85, so heat soak's not as big of an issue with E85, but you still want to eliminate it if you can. Cooler IATs are never a bad thing. Now, and I'm not, now that I have forged pistons and whatnot, knock, while it's never good, it's just not as big of an issue for me right now, because unlike with the factory short block and pistons, I don't have to worry that one knock event is going to blow my motor. Side note, I'm going to do another segment here real quick once I get done with this about tuning, because I am tuning the car myself. I guess I probably slid over. Let's see. Okay. So, actually, I'm going to come up a little bit shorter than I anticipated. That's fine. Get this tape off of here. Get rid of that. Now, let me focus over here so you can see. I'm just going to get this started. And I'm just going to fold it in on itself right there. And pull it tight. Now what I'll do when I get to the hobby shop is I'll clip that with some pliers to get rid of that excess on the strap. It's just kind of on there at the moment, but see, it's kind of on there. I'll be able to pull it tighter with some pliers, but as you can see, it's not going to go anywhere. It slides a little bit up here, but it's fine. And so that should help with the IETs. Anyway, I'm pretty sure this oxygen sensor is not going to work. It might, but I'm going to go ahead and put the one off of the factory downpipe on there. I also have a new donut gasket. I'm not worried about the turbo flange one because it's metal. Yeah, so, and probably in another video soon I'll have the install of this, see how it fits up. I mean, I'm sure it's going to fit fine. It's Cobb. So and then I'll be retuning for this. I shouldn't have to do much except maybe my wastegate duty cycles, lower them a little bit. But anyway, I'll talk more on that when I do the tuning section. So just a quick project, another quick thing to do without much tools at all. All I used was a knife. We need some pliers to trim that zip tie. So anyway, until next time, I'll be back.